everybody, it's Natalie. Welcome back to Nat Christmas Autism Girl channel. And here's my friend Alanna.
Hi.
Going to be joining us for a video today, as we did a video together before, and so we decided we'd do another one. We did our Fitzsimmons thing. We talked about Fitzsimmons, and so today we're going to be comparing enemies to lovers and friends to lovers.
Yes.
Because those are two tropes that we both enjoy. So, for this video, we're going to be taking cards with the names of the couples and comparing them to the cards for enemies to lovers, and then we'll move on to each round. So, that's about it for that. So, let's get started.
Yeah.
So, read your first card. I'm going to write it down.
All right. We've got Milo and Amanda.
That's from Milo and Murphy's Law.
I don't really know anything about them.
Okay, so I'll just give you a brief history. She's a perfectionist.
Okay.
He's the accident-prone guy who has Murphy's Law just around him.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's a descendant of the original creator. So they don't go along together, but they slowly like each other.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah. So he kind of impresses her, and then she decides that she likes him. Because he deals with disasters very well.
Okay, that's good.
I think I did end up with the enemies to lovers side, actually. Oh, well.
It's okay.
Oh, well. Here we go. We have Pocahontas and John Smith for enemies to lovers category.
Classic.
So who do we like better?
Well, I keep thinking of Colors of the Wind. I feel that was such an iconic song.
Oh, and If I Never Knew You is like...
Right?
The best. Did you listen to that song?
Mm-hmm.
It's so beautiful, isn't it?
It's really pretty.
Yeah, it was like, that song gives me chills. So, I think...
I'm partial to Pocahontas and John Smith just because I don't know as much about Milo and Amanda. But, what are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, Milo and Pocahontas and John Smith kind of end tragically. Well, sort of, because they don't actually stay together, and Milo and Amanda are hinted to become more than what they are now. So it's kind of hard because the ending kind of makes me partial to Milo and Amanda.
Yeah.
But I like Pocahontas and John Smith because they're classic and they're really cute, and I love their music together.
True.
So I don't know. This is a tough one for me.
Plus, she completely changed his mindset on the way that they were exploring.
Yeah, that was pretty cool, but also unrealistic.
I mean, yeah, but it's a Disney movie. So.
Yeah, that's kind of true. I think I'm just gonna say, what's your vote?
I'm voting for Pocahontas and John Smith.
Me too.
All right, cool.
So we'll do Pocahontas P and JS because I don't feel like writing that again. So put them off to the side.
All right. Do I discard Milo and Amanda?
Yeah.
I'll put John Smith over here.
Yep. And then they'll face whoever comes next. Or the winner of this next round.
Interesting.
That's why I'm writing it down as brackets.
That tracks.
Okay. So I'll read first. Oh wait. I think I wrote them twice. That's how I ended up with 18.
All right.
That makes sense.
That's perfect then.
Yeah. So next we have Rapunzel and Eugene from Tangled versus
Melissa and Zach
from Milo and Murphy's Law again. So that's another one you're not familiar with.
Synopsis.
Melissa and Zach are both the best friends of Milo. Melissa's been best friends with Milo for longer, and they both they both love going on adventures. And then at the end, she kisses him on the cheek, and it's implied that they like each other.
Right.
And Rapunzel and Eugene. It's not a question for me. They win.
I know.
Melissa and Zach I'm not really a big fan of anyway, so it wasn't as hard for me as Milo and Amanda.
Yeah.
Picking between those two, because Rapunzel and Eugene are just...
I know, he changes all of his ways for her and takes her to see the floating lights.
Yeah, and you know what's cool about them is I read that what's cool about them is it's not just about their love story, because it's her path to freedom.
True.
And on top of that, there's a beautiful love story. And even in the show, you know, her priority isn't him, it's her freedom.
Right.
It just goes to show you how realistic their friendship is, their relationship is to me.
Yeah.
Because, you know, if your priority is a guy, then you have some issues.
True.
In my opinion, at least. I mean, not that falling in love is bad.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm saying, but it's a neat thing. All right, you read first this time.
All right. I've got T'Challa and Nakia.
We're on Black Panther
Classic.
versus Anna Gilbert
Ooh.
from Anne of Green Gables.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the enemy. They start out as enemies, where he likes her, but she teases him. He teases her about her hair.
Yeah.
And then, but he's in love with her, and then he slowly convinces them to be friends, and then he proposes to her years later after he gives up his spot at the school for her, and then she rejects him, but then when Roy Gardner proposes to her, which is her ideal, she decides no. Then he's engaged, he likes this other girl, but he really doesn't. And then they end up together after she almost loses him because she realizes he belongs to her. They're just so sweet. And then they get married. And I'm talking about the books, obviously.
Yeah.
And then they get married, and then they have kids, and then they raise them. And then they kind of become less of the focus, but it's more about their kids now. Yeah. What about T'Challa versus Nakia?
I really do like them. I wish we could have seen more of, you know, like when they first met. Because when we start Black Panther, they're just like not together, but you can tell they've been together. But I mean, they obviously have really great on-screen chemistry, and the I don't know, the aftermath of like Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, and yeah, that was devastating. You know. Like the potential they could have had and the family that they could have had, but...
Yeah, but Anne and Gilbert, I forgot to mention, they have a lot of one-scene chemistry. At least the actors do, as well. So, my vote is Anne and Gilbert, though, because they kind of have a happier ending.
Yeah. I also feel like we saw more of them than...
We saw more of their relationship being developed. We saw the beginning of it, as opposed to T'Challa and Nakia. That's the reason I vote for them.
Me too.
Okay, we'll move on.
I feel like yours have won every round.
Well, yeah.
But it's been, I agree, but...
It is kind of weird the way that works, but I guess...
I have a good feeling about this one.
Okay, let's see who it is.
Okay. WandaVision.
I love them. And we have Ricky and Zane from H2O.
Your favorite enemies to lovers. But WandaVision...
I love WandaVision. They're just, especially in WandaVision, the show about them.
Must see.
So good. And they're like she loses him twice, and then she kind of like in her grief, he comforts her after her brother's death. Then in her grief, I gotta vote for WandaVision.
Oh yeah. And I think it's so cool the scene in WandaVision where they're like flashing back. And he is like talking to her about like her brother's like death in the compound. Because I saw an interview with is it Paul Bettany?
Yeah, Paul Bettany.
And he was saying how he didn't feel like, you know, they kept talking about them being the Avengers compound. He's like, but it wasn't doing enough, like the scene. And so that's when they came up with like the what is grief if not love, persevering line, and made it like very meaningful.
Yeah.
So
Ricky and Zane, although they're cool, they have lots of chemistry. They're my favorite enemies to lovers. They, you know, he eventually gives up his behavior to protect her. Then it all falls apart in season 3. I mean, I wish season 3 didn't exist, so I didn't have to see their relationship fall apart. But it does, so I'm gonna have to vote for WandaVision.
I agree.
All right, well, I guess you won a round. Good job.
Nice. Thank you.
Okay, next we have...
Do you want to go first?
I'll go
I've been going first.
Okay, Hero and Carmi from Big Hero 6, the series.
Okay.
Enemies to lovers.
I have Kim and Ron.
Okay, no question, Kim and Ron win, but let's go over it anyway, just for the heck of it.
Okay.
Hero and Carmi are both geniuses at this S-Fit school. They don't like each other at all at the beginning. They're kind of rivals, and then
I love good academic rivals.
And then, so over time, in the second season, it's pointed out to her how alike she and Hero are. And then when he helps her with a project she's doing for the bad guy, actually, without knowing it,
Of course.
she starts to like him and gains respect for him. And then he helps fight her off when she's transformed into a monster, and then they end up liking each other in the third season, but nothing really comes of it other than we like each other because they're a little young to be really starting a relationship, in my opinion.
That's true.
Yeah, he's 14 and she's 16.
Interesting.
So that's Hero and Carmi.
Cool. We've got Kim and Ron from Kim Possible.
Love them.
Yes, ultimate friends to lovers trope. Because, I mean, was it like the first 2 seasons? Like 2.5? Like they're just friends? But
Well, in the third season, you're kind of teased they could become something more.
But they're also like childhood friends, and like they've always been friends. Like there's, I don't know. It's nice to see like their friendship play out like before there's any like romantic chemistry.
Yeah.
You know, they have like a solid background and like they care about each other and like accept each other for how they are without like the romantic implications and everything. Plus they complement each other so well because she's so capable and sometimes he's not. But
he's my favorite character.
Yes.
So I love him all at the same time.
And he just admires her so much. Like he's never like jealous that like she is the super cool.
Yeah,
you know.
it's really cool. So Kim and Ron is my vote.
Same.
Okay. Next, I have to move on to the second sheet. I could have just used the back, but
That's okay.
I didn't think that through. Okay, so I'll discard Hero and Carmi.
All right, I got Fletcher and Olive. Intrigue.
Stark and Pepper
Ooh.
from Iron Man.
Okay.
So let's Stark and Pepper. Tony Stark is this billionaire, genius, playboy, as he describes himself. Philanthropist, all those things that he describes himself as. And Pepper works for him, and then he gains a respect for her, and they slowly fall in love over the course of the movies. And then he puts her in charge of his company, and then she doesn't tell her he's dying, but lots of lack of trust there. But in the end, he makes it up to her. And then in Avengers, they're seen as together. They're still a couple. And then in Iron Man 3, they end up being kind of paranoid about everything. He has PTSD and thinking of distance from her. And then in Civil War, they had taken a break. But then in Homecoming, Spider-Man, they had gone back together. And then Avengers Infinity War, they were engaged. And then Avengers Endgame, they get married, have a kid, and then he sacrifices himself for his daughter and everybody else. And Spider-Man is super awesome. But to the point where he loved him and Morgan so much that he wasn't willing to risk losing them until he saw a picture of Spider-Man, too. So that's no point there. Yeah. So Fletcher and Olive.
I mean, they're cool. I mean, I don't know, it's kind of like, I feel like a little overshadowed by the fact that he liked China so much for like a lot of it.
Yeah, and then like, she makes fun of him all the time, and he fights, and then has that big fight in the antagonist, and then eventually they forgive each other, but then they start to, when she gets dumped, he is there for her.
So it is a sweet progression, but
then she ends up sacrificing her own feelings for him, so he can have that art experience, but at the same time, they're not very nice to each other, and Even when they are dating, she's kind of full of herself still.
Yeah.
So not a big fan. I say Stark and Pepper.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay, I forgot to write them down. So,
Here, I'll open mine first so you can write.
Stark and Pepper versus Fletcher and Olive. And there we go. And then we voted on Stark and Pepper. And then next we have
Carlos and Jane.
Yeah,
From Descendants 2.
And the third one too, but I hate the third one, so I didn't really count it as they're not much developed in the third one anyway. So okay, Peter Quill and Gamora. This is gonna be a hard one for me.
Okay.
Because I love both of these couples. Carlos and Jane. Do you remember? Do you know them from? You never saw the second one, did you?
No, I only saw the first one, unfortunately.
Well, in Descendants 2, Carlos has this crush on Jane, and he's struggling with the courage to ask her out to the dance, the cotillion, and then he she calls him a friend, but then he eventually gets the courage to ask her out after he gets encouragement from his dog that now talks.
Nice.
And so, Dude, the dog that now talks, and then so after he gets encouragement from Dude, he eventually asks her to the dance and asks her if she wants to be more than friends, and she says yes, and he gets all excited and goes like, "You're so nice and cute, I'm so excited." And then she gets excited about being boyfriend and girlfriend, and then at the dance, they're seen dancing together, and then in the third one, they become official.
Okay. Well, that does sound cute.
Yeah, they're really cute. They're one of my favorites, actually, because I like them more than Mal and Ben, who is the most popular couple, but who cares? Mal and Ben are the most iconic, but there's not... It's like Mal and Ben, Mal's overrated, in my opinion. Mal and Ben are slightly overrated.
I could see that, actually.
Yeah.
Then you Peter Quill and Gamora.
Who are enemies to lovers, because in the first Guardians, they're fighting, and then they eventually become friends, and then the second one, they say, we have an unspoken thing, which he tries to push, and then she's like, no, there's no unspoken thing. And then at the end, she admits that there is, and then in Avengers Infinity War, they're a full-fledged couple, they kiss, say, I love you, and then she dies. And then a younger version of her comes back, but she doesn't love him.
Right.
Like her
counterpart. It's not the same person.
Yeah, it's like her from the past, because she never experienced the events of Guardians and Guardians 2 that called sort of fall in love with them.
Right.
So it's so tragic.
I know, in the scene where Thanos does he have her?
Yeah.
And then she wants Peter to kill her.
Oh my gosh, that scene.
I know, and then and he doesn't want to do it, obviously. But then when he does, all the bubbles come out, and it's like he would have done it, and I don't know, it just seems so sad.
Yeah.
I know, and I feel like everyone really blamed Peter.
They do, and
when,
it's
when he tried to, I don't know, they had him hypnotized, but then
he parted punching Thanos. I mean, I don't really blame him. Who I blame really is Thor, who could have hit Thanos in the head, but decided to go for his chest so he could glove Thanos' face. So I feel like he kind of just acted out of emotion.
Oh yeah,
I don't blame him as much as everybody else does for that.
It's understandable.
It's kind of understandable. I mean, I would have done the same thing probably.
Yeah.
If I had just
more
lost
realistic
the love of my life, and then the guy who killed her.
Is
him is right there. I would have done that, the same thing. So, what do you think?
I'm thinking Peter Quill and Gamora.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking the same thing, just because they have so much there. It's hard though for me because I love Carlos and Jane too.
They do sound like a good couple.
They're really cute. But they're not as deep as Peter Quill and Gamora, so I'm going to vote for Peter Quill and Gamora. I always vote for the deeper thing.
I respect that.
I feel like I've won a lot of these rounds.
I don't know. Embarrassed.
Kim and Ron won, though, and so did Juan and Vision, and Ransel and Eugene won.
Well, that was yours, right? Because I'm...
Yeah, you're right, because that were the enemies lovers, so... Yeah, but you won, too, so far.
Nice.
Okay. Peter Parker and MJ.
Oof,
MCU.
that's gonna be a hard one to beat.
Kanan and Hera from Rebels.
Okay.
Kanan is this Jedi, and Hera's the pilot, and they fall in love, and then he dies. He sacrifices himself to save her and completes the mission that she set out to do by giving his life up. And
that
so,
makes me sad.
and they have a son together, which kind of, in my opinion, cheapens their relationship because everything in that moment was building up to the "I love you" that she said.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had a kid before he dies. That doesn't really make sense, but
Yeah.
whatever. And then we have Peter Parker and MJ, who we all know from the MCU. They fall in love over time, and then she forgets him. I'm voting for them.
Oh yeah, for sure. This sounded really sad though.
It did, but it can't be the classic Peter Parker and MJ. Come on.
No, absolutely not. So are Jedi's not supposed to fall in love?
No, they are not, but they do anyway. Some of them do. And Kanan actually proves, in my opinion, that it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to fall to the dark side. Because he never was even tempted by it.
Right.
Because,
He sacrificed himself.
Yeah.
Like for their mission.
Yeah. And
Who?
her. Who is it?
Anna and Kristoff.
Oh, and we have Mia and Nicholas from Princess Diaries.
Dang.
I don't really like them very much. Honestly.
Interesting.
As much as I like whoever you just read.
Anna and Kristoff.
Yeah. I love Anna and Kristoff though. Because they're like so sweet. Like she doesn't understand love and then she realizes that he gave everything up for her.
Mm-hmm.
His own happiness for her happiness and for her life too, but
Oh yeah.
and then we have Mia and Nicholas from Princess Diaries 2. They started as enemies and then they slowly fell in love over the course of the movie. But then nothing really comes of it.
I mean, they get together at the end, right?
Yeah, they secretly kiss.
Yeah. I know. Aren't they making a third Princess Diaries?
They are. Maybe they'll do something with that.
Maybe.
Who do you vote for?
I mean, I like me and Nicholas, but Anna and Kristoff, especially, I don't know. Like the way he was like willing to like get her back to Hans, even though like he was in love with her.
I know, it's just so beautiful. I want a guy like that.
And him in the second movie, like him trying to propose and like her kept like vaguely sabotaging him, not on purpose, but
Or he sabotaged himself.
I don't know. She was very much overthinking everything. Like he's like, if this situation was different, this would be a really romantic spot. She's like, different? Like with someone else?
Yeah.
And like he obviously wasn't thinking that, but I also understand overthinking things. Like that's my forte.
Yeah, me too. So we're voting for Anna and Kristoff though.
Mm-hmm.
Even though, look at that, you won again! Yay! Okay, let's see who we got next. We got Katie and Aiden from Alexa and Katie
Good one. Good one. I've got Robin and Starfire
from Teen Titans.
Mm-hmm.
They are teammates on the team.
Right.
They have crushes on each other throughout the series. It's kind of hinted at
Mm-hmm.
that they like each other. At one point, he claims that she's not his girlfriend. She interprets that to think he doesn't like her at all. And then the whole time he's trying to convince her that he does.
Mm-hmm.
And then he totally awkwardly tries to express his feelings to her. And it's so funny. And then in the movie that I don't really care for, but they end up getting together as a couple.
Okay.
So, and then they hold hands at the end and they kiss. They have their real kiss because in the original, she can learn any language by lip contact kissing.
Okay.
So like she does kiss him at the beginning of when they meet, but that doesn't really count because they weren't really in love. She was just trying to learn English. So, and then we have Katie and Aiden, enemies to lovers, who don't really. She is annoyed by him, but then they like each other, go to prom together, and then they end up staying together at the end and kiss.
So were they friends, still enemies, or dating when I've seen a clip on TikTok where she was like starting to have a panic attack and like he was in the ice cream shop.
No, they were enemies.
Okay. Did that kind of like change
That changed
their dynamic?
They changed their dynamic to friends, and then they became lovers later.
That was a cute scene.
It was. I love it. So, voting for Katie and Aiden.
Interesting.
Were you voting for Robin and Starfire though?
I mean, I haven't really seen like full-fledged of either. I've only seen TikTok clips.
Okay, well, it's hard though
I know.
to see because Robin and Starfire are really cute, and that episode I just described was hilarious. So I don't know. What do you think?
I guess we can go with Katie and Aiden.
Okay.
And I'm sad that I have to put another one of mine up.
Well, that's why I was hesitating because I didn't want you to have to lose again.
Okay. It's okay.
Okay, and so we decided on Katie and Aiden. So next we have, and this is going to be a really long video. Maybe we should do a part 2.
Maybe.
I don't know. I mean, people make hour-long videos all the time.
That's very true. I just watched an hour-long YouTube video. So.
Yeah. You go first.
Alright. Fitzsimmons
Oh my gosh, whoever is feeding us and doesn't have a chance.
doesn't have a chance.
It's Scott Lang and Hope Van Dyne.
Love Scott. Love Paul Rudd, but
I don't know. I don't really like their relationship very much.
yeah,
It's like they're not really very cute and they don't really have much chemistry.
that's true.
But their dynamic's kind of cool because they like become partners and then eventually lovers.
Mm-hmm.
But Fitzsimmons, I always vote for Fitzsimmons.
I mean, per our last video, but I mean, they're friends from the academy, so they've got like a really good foundation. They both like respect each other, both their crafts. I don't know, just the sacrifices they make, like even before they like get together, like when Simmons was gonna jump out of the helicarrier,
yeah,
like when she was infected, and like him watching her jump out. And the scene at the bottom of the ocean.
Oh my gosh, that scene brings me to tears every time. Actually, not every time. His death really is what gets to me the most.
Yeah. But anyway, the fact that they go from like thinking that they're cursed, they're not meant to be together because of like all these bad things that have happened, to them just knowing that like even if they are quote unquote cursed, like they're still like fight for each other and like being like intentionally pursue each other.
So beautiful. I mean, hence our last video is why I'm voting for Fitzsimmons.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's no one stands a chance, except for maybe Starbuck for me, but yeah, they'd be the only people that really would stand a chance against Fitzsimmons for me at least. Wait, no, I forgot to put them over there. And did Katie and Aiden win? Or
Yes.
did Robin and Sapphire? Okay, so they do belong over here.
Mm-hmm.
I keep getting the discard and regular pile mixed up.
Understand.
Okay, next we have Em and Ash from H2O.
Classic. I've got Phineas and Isabella.
Okay, I'm sorry, Em and Ash. I always vote for Phineas and Isabella because did you see Phineas for growing up? You did not. Okay, Isabella has this crush on Phineas, and then they're just friends, and then slowly over time she starts to give up on him. And then when they're teenagers in this special episode, he is told by Belgique, the Indian kid, that she hasn't had a crush on him for years. And then at the end they admit their feelings for each other because he started to like her too. And then they go to the same college. He's torn between 2 colleges, picks her college so he could be with her. And then they share a kiss. And then everyone's like, I totally knew that would happen.
Everyone else knew except for them.
Except for him, at least.
Yeah, that's true.
And then Em and Ash are enemies to lovers because she doesn't like him, but then they start to like each other. Yeah, I'm sorry. They don't stand a chance. Okay, who are we on next? Okay,
Use the back of one?
Yep. Well, then I won't be able to make any more rounds. I just should have got more paper. Okay, I'll just use that. And then if I run, you can stall and I'll run and get paper.
Sounds good.
Or, I can use line paper or something. mine paper scissors.
Okay.
Whatever. Where were we?
I have Candace and Jeremy.
Who just competed?
Oh,
Emma,
Phys-
Emma and Ash versus,
and Phineas and Isabella.
and then Phineas and Isabella obviously won because I love them, because they're friends to lovers. And Emma and Ash were probably one of my least favorites, besides Bella and Will. I don't really like Bella and Will either.
Yeah.
She's like obsessed with him, and then he don't really like her very much, and then they start to like each other. They're just a weird couples. So, anyway, all right, we're almost through the first round.
All right.
So we have Wally and Eve versus Candace and Jeremy.
I love Polly and Eve.
I do too. Candace and Jeremy are really sweet though at the same time, but
I just like that Wally is like so in love and like impressed with Eve, like how powerful she is, and she does not like him at all. But then when he shuts down, she takes such he takes such good care of her. And then she watches the video of like
she like is holding her own hand the whole time and so happy. And then they end up kissing, sort of, as robot kiss. And then when he is damaged, he only remembers her. He starts to remember her, and she's pulling her hand away, and then he grabs it and goes, Eve, Eva.
The way that he can't say her name either is so cute.
Yeah, I think Wally and Eve. And not as much as I love Candace and Jeremy in a way, because they stay together and they get married. And
I love that.
Well, actually, they don't really get married on the show. It's just confirmed that they get married.
Okay.
They stay together.
Okay.
And they go 20 years in the future. She has kids, and it's revealed that Jeremy was the father.
Okay, so it's like inferred. Well, that's sweet.
But I'm gonna vote for Wally and Eve. So there we go. Okay, next we're almost done with the first round. So we have Dipper and Pacifica from Gravity Falls.
Okay.
They're kind of like implied to like each other, but it's not really been confirmed. But a lot of people ship them.
Mulan and Shang.
Okay, I know who's gonna win. But we should just still talk about Dipper and Pacifica. They're enemies, but then he realizes maybe she's not as bad as she thought. And then she hugs him at one point and says, "Please, can I pay you to pretend that didn't happen?" and then she ends up saving the day when he starts to turn to wood. And then they kind of like ends up signing the letter to him that everybody in the town signs to say thank you.
Oh.
So it's kind of sweet. But Mulan and Shang are just awesome.
I know. We've had such a hard time figuring out if they were friends to lovers or enemies to lovers. You know?
Yeah, I think they're just friends to lovers because they're never really enemies.
I don't know, he really was mad at her when he found out she was a girl, and you know, she leaves and he's upset and he like doesn't, she's like, "You have to listen to me," and he's like, "I don't have to listen to you," but you know, she's like,
I don't really, you know, because she's like, "You weren't honest before, why would you be honest now?"
Very true, but anyway.
But we'll just count them as friends lovers because I don't really, that's too complicated for my brain. So what are we voting for?
It's gotta be Mulan and Shang.
Yep.
It's gotta be.
Yeah, because they're sweet. Okay, and then finally we have, well, second to last, is whoever this is. Blue and Jewel from Rio.
I love them. Also, I have 2 more.
How do you have 2 more? I thought you only counted 17.
I did only count 17.
Maybe I miscounted? Or maybe I lost one?
Maybe I miscounted.
Huh. Because we'll come up with one, whoever is last, and then we'll just come up with another one to face yours.
Sounds good. Alright, Jay and Nia. Nia. Oops. Sorry. From Ninjago.
Yes. I love Jay and Nia. They're so cool. They start out as lovers and they become friends. And they go back to being lovers. And then she becomes his Yang, like a promise. And then, you know, then she turns into water. as a sacrifice to become merges with the ocean to save him, and says she loves him. And before that, he had told her he loves her. And then in the end, they are able to bring her back, and then they're happy again. So.
Oh, I really like that.
And then Blue and Jewel, I mean, they end up having kids, and they were like, oh, you know, happy. But I gotta vote for Dania.
I agree.
Yeah.
But the music in Rio is so good. I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty good. I have to admit. I actually don't remember it very well, but whatever. I like that frog that was in love with the
Yeah.
that in the Rio too. That was so funny. Okay, who's your last one?
Anga
So-
Katara?
And I have Emma and Killigan Hook from Once Upon a Time.
I've seen some clips of them. They seem good together. Good chemistry, I think.
Yeah, and then Inga Katara. Not really a big fan of them, but
Because they're so young, right?
yeah, but they're kind of sweet because like they have been through so much, and then at the end of this series, they kiss, and he likes her a lot, but she's like confused about how she feels about him. So, but it's really sweet in the end. They're just too young for me to really stand behind that.
I get that.
But I'm gonna vote for Inga Katara.
Okay.
What about you?
That sounds good.
Okay, because you haven't seen either of those, have you?
No, unfortunately.
Sorry.
I feel like I'm really
Who's
slacking.
last?
Alright, I've got Cleo and Lewis.
Okay.
I mean, could anyone really win against Cleo and Lewis if we had them?
No. But then, who are we gonna put against them? Let me think of another enemy to leverage her. If we compete against Cleo and Lewis. Are we just gonna declare Cleo and Lewis the winner of that round, even though we don't have anybody? I forgot about Cody and Bailey. Would they be enemies to lovers or friends to lovers?
Yeah, I feel like they were fun.
Yeah, so they don't really count. What about Maya and Zach?
It's true. But I mean, either way, be Cleo and Lewis.
Yeah, so we're just gonna go for Cleo and Lewis to win that. Okay, now for the second round. My papers are way too disorganized, but first we have Pocahontas and John Smith versus Rapunzel and Eugene.
It's gotta be Rapunzel and Eugene.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they're just so much depth to them.
They're perfect.
And Gilbert versus Wanda and Vision. Oh, that's so hard. Man. I mean, Anne and Gilbert are so sweet and have so much chemistry, but Wanda and Vision are also like,
They just went through so much.
they went through so much. So, oh man, that's hard. I think I gotta vote for Wanda and Vision though, just because they went through so much to get where they were.
I agree.
All right, so we'll finish this round and then we'll compete them against each other.
Right.
Peter Parker and MJ versus Anna and Kristoff.
Ooh.
Well, because Anna and Kristoff are animated, you don't really see if they have chemistry.
Oh, sure.
But Peter Parker and MJ are like, you know,
I know they're dating in real life, so.
they're dating in real life and they're so sweet. Gotta vote for Peter Parker and MJ. What about you?
Yeah, I agree. Plus, like, the angst because she doesn't remember him, and like he could have told her, but he saw that she was like
Happy.
and she like got into school because like she doesn't have that association with Spider-Man anymore, and
but he made a sacrifice basically for her.
oh yeah.
It was a sacrifice. It wasn't. It was breaking his promise, but
Oh
he
no,
was doing it as a sacrifice.
I agree.
It was so tragic, though. That's why they're one of the most tragic relationships, I think.
I
So,
concur.
Katie and Aiden versus Fitzsimmons. I mean, Katie and Aiden don't stand a chance.
I really don't.
How did I forgot about Star and Marco. How did I forget about them?
That would have been hard to compete with anyone though.
Yeah, we'll put them with Cleo and Lewis as ultimate winning thing.
Yeah.
So I'll put them at the bottom with Cleo and Lewis. Wherever I put Cleo and Lewis. say they competed, but no one's gonna beat Star and Marco in the first round at least.
Exactly.
So next we have I lost where I was. So we'll go to for this page. Okay. Phineas and Isabella versus Wally and Eve.
I'm partial to Wally and Eve because I haven't seen Phineas and Ferb, but that's just me.
Oh man, I'm voting for Phineas and Isabella. We'll have to make a decision. Maybe we can play rock, paper, scissors.
Okay.
See who wins.
Do I do 2 out of 3 or just 1?
1. Or 2 out of 3. Do you want to do 2 out of 3?
Let's do 2 out of 3.
Okay, would that make you feel better?
Yeah.
Okay. Wait, I didn't do it all the way.
I'll count us. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Okay. Rock, paper, scissors,
shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Alright, you win. I guess it's Wally and Eve. Okay. Then we have Mulan and Shang versus. Oh man, it didn't really work with the.
Because there's 3 on.
Yeah, there's 3 on this page, and wait, there's no one to pit against them. Okay, who's next in the list?
So we've done those.
Kim and Ron.
Okay.
Where's Jay and Nia? Did I put them on here?
They'll be against Aang and Couture.
Okay.
Katara.
So we have Kim and Ron versus Mulan and Shang.
It's gotta be Kim and Ron, right?
Me too. Yeah. Because Kim and Ron are like the best.
I know. Very fleshed out.
Yeah, they're awesome. Stark and Pepper versus Peter Quill and Gamora.
Ooh.
That is a hard one. Both are very tragic.
I know. Especially because you've got like 2 like kind of arrogant male characters who end up like, showing like a softer side and like,
I kind of gotta vote for Peter Quill and Gamora though, because I love them.
Yeah.
Plus, since I don't know, I just vote for them.
Yeah.
Okay, next we have Aang and Katara versus Jay and Mia.
I'm pretty indifferent just because I don't know either of them.
Yeah, I'll vote for Jay and Mia.
Okay.
That would be who I vote for.
Okay. They did seem
More sweeter. So, okay, Cleveland Lewis versus Star and Marco. It's not even a chance for me. Star and Marco.
How old are the ninjas in Ninjago?
Teenagers throughout the whole series, even though it doesn't really make sense, but whatever. They're like...
Are there like 12 seasons?
15? Plus 2 specials.
Okay.
And 15 plus 2 specials and a bunch of pilots.
I mean, I agree with suspension of disbelief, so.
Yeah. Do we have anybody else in this round?
I think that's it.
No, we have Mulan and Shang. Or they competed against
Kim Possible.
Ron.
Kim and Ron.
Okay, so next we have Wally and Eve versus Kim and Ron. Oh man.
This is so hard.
I know. Man, both are beautiful in a way. I gotta vote for Kim and Ron though.
Yeah, just because we got to see more of them.
Yeah, because they got a whole show and Wally and Eve just got a movie. Okay. And then we have Rapunzel and Eugene versus Wanda and Vision.
Gosh.
Oh, that's so hard. Rapunzel and Eugene got a whole show and a movie. And then WandaVision, they
Also a show and a movie.
Yeah, and they ended up married and happy. And then Wanda and Vision ended up not happy. So, I guess on the result, should we think about the result of their relationship?
I don't know.
But then...
I know, but like in the last scene with Wanda and Vision, he's like, we'll see each other again.
Yeah,
I was like...
Wanda and Vision. Gotta vote to say that.
Do you think there's any chance that she would be with the White Vision?
I don't know. There's gonna be a show about him though.
Okay.
Okay, next we have Peter Peter Quill and Gamora versus Day and Mia.
I'm partial to Peter Quill and Gamora because I know more about them.
Yeah, I'm partial to them too.
Okay.
So wait, we didn't finish this round, did we? Peter Parker and MJ versus Fitzsimmons would be in that round. Man, that's hard for me.
It's gotta be Fitzsimmons.
It's gotta be Fitzsimmons. So I'll circle them because I don't have enough room to move on to them. So Peter Quill and Gamora versus who was gonna verse Peter Quill and Gamora? Kim and Ron? Or Peter Parker and MJ? I think it's Peter Parker and... No, okay, Peter Quill and Gamora. This is a very confusing bracket. Versus Kim and Ron.
These are getting so hard.
Man, they are.
I don't know because there's obviously like more tragicness with Peter Quill and Gamora, but like I also just enjoy like the lightheartedness of Kim and Ron.
Yeah. Man, this is the hardest question ever.
I know.
This is harder than the genetics I had to do yesterday.
Period.
For sure.
Should we circle back?
Yeah. Okay, who's next? Fitzsimmons versus... Did Peter Parker and MJ compete against Fitzsimmons? They did.
Yeah, we said Fitzsimmons because
Juan and Vision versus Star and Marco. I think it would be next, correct? Yeah, Star and Marco versus Fitzsimmons. Versus Juan and Vision. I gotta vote Star and Marco. I'm always gonna go with them because obvious reasons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We'll do Star and Marco.
Okay, now we gotta choose. We're on the final three.
Mm-hmm.
Fitzsimmons versus Peter Quill and Gamora. No, Kim and Ron versus Peter Quill and Gamora. That's where we're at.
Yeah. Should we just rock, paper, scissors it again? I don't really know if we'll come to a definitive conclusion.
Okay.
Or should we just talk it out?
I don't know. Because Kim and Ron are lighthearted, but they're really sweet.
Mm-hmm.
And then they end up together at the end, and then Peter Quill and Gamora don't because they end up tragic. But then they just love each other so much.
True. But we also don't know how, like, their love story will, like, progress in this next movie. Or, like, if they'll be in love, then. Because it's technically a different version of Gamora.
Yeah, and then Kim and Ron are like, you know, it's shown they stay together after graduation. I'm going to have to vote for Kim and Ron just because of the ending to their relationship. So we have Kim and Ron as the winner of that round. Now we have to choose Star and Marco, Fitzsimmons, and Kim and Ron. The three best ships of all time. In my opinion, at least.
Ditto.
Except for maybe somebody else I voted for over Star. Wait, it was Star and Marco, Fitzsimmons, Zed and Addison, but they're love at first sight.
Yeah, so we couldn't.
They can't really compete for this.
Yeah.
Oh, man, this is the hardest decision ever. I just... I
think my vote is Fitzsimmons, personally. But...
You know, we don't have to do an actual winner. We could just do a top three winner.
That's true.
Because I can't choose.
I don't know.
I mean, I can choose. I'd vote for Star and Marco, but I just don't feel like that'd be fair to the other couples because Star and Marco will always be my favorite.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm very biased towards them because they're so sweet and they're in my favorite shows. So whatever.
So, top three.
Yeah.
Kim and Ron. Fitzsimmons.
And Star and Marco. Those are our top three, everybody.
I can live with that.
Me too. We voted on our, which we didn't really have to do all this to get to this top three.
But
it was fun.
it was fun.
Yeah, well, thanks everybody for watching this video. If you enjoyed, please like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. It will give me support. You can send me an email at the email below if you have any questions. See you later. Bye.
Bye.